What's up, everyone? Welcome to beginning of the week. It's Monday, and I am so excited to be here with you guys today. Let me just tell you, boy, we are here, and we are alive, and we are ready, and that's about all I can ask for, man, is that. And I hope you guys out there are doing well for yourselves and with each other and for each other and maybe on each other. You know what I'm saying? But here we are. Here we are, and we made it. We made it. We made it. And what I mean by we made it is we made it all the way to September. That's right. We survived that dreadful August. August, that's just what it is, And now we're moving into a much more comfortable space, because August is, out of the 12 months, in my opinion, August just gives off that grim reaper of heat. It doesn't want you to survive. All it wants to do is just dry your muscles right out of your own skin, and turn you into maybe a walking mirage, that sort of thing. So you see yourself and then you don't, all at one time, somehow. So, you'll peek out your window, watch a friendly neighbor, come walking down their driveway for a moment to check their mail. And about 10 seconds later, you look out there to make sure, that they're doing all right. And you'll just see a damn skeleton just laying there in their driveway. And it's probably holding a couple Domino's coupons and maybe some yellow pages and maybe that life alert that he didn't get. He didn't have that life alert button. He just got that. He just got the coupon, so he doesn't have it on him anymore. He never had it on him. Maybe if he did, he probably wouldn't be laying out in the driveway, holding his stack of mail in one hand and maybe a dirty magazine, you know what I'm talking about, in the other. And he's just, skull face down on his property, and that's all you got, And that's because, that heat in August got to old Roberto. And now old Roberto is probably, playing chess and making smoothies or, having smoothies or doing something with a smoothie, with the man upstairs, if you ask me. But man, September is amongst us. Speaking of the man upstairs, thank the Lord, because one more day of August, and I don't think I would have made it. So happy September to all you guys out there, and I hope this month treats you better than August did, because, you never know what month's going to bring to you. So, but man, September, man, whenever September rolls around, I always think of a friend of mine, because in Asheville, this is harvest season around these parts, if you know what I'm talking about. And harvest season, usually you'll find a bunch of people out there picking all sorts of vegetables and fruits out of either they're picking a veggie out of a tree and maybe a fruit out of the ground, or maybe the opposite. Who knows? You never know what you're gonna get. But growing up, man, one of my buddies, his dad owned his own apple orchard, so we'd slide down there and everything and pick out some of these fine edible fruits, and I'll tell you one thing, man, these were the freshest apples that you not only that you would ever see, but that you have ever tasted before. And they got all sorts of apples: green apples, cherry apples, red apples, baby apples, adult apples, whatever kind of apple you think. If you can imagine it, they got it down there. So, but we'd go out there and we'd pick a couple of those bad bitches, and then we bring it back and we give them to his mom and everything. And his mom would spend the day, making a couple, serving up a couple of those delicious apple cinnamon, yeah, those cinnamon and apple pies. That's what she would do. She'd work all day long on those things, make the crust and everything, the pastry from scratch. And she's doing it, she's making it, she's tossing it, she's origami, however you pronounce it. She's making origami apples out of apples or whatever. But she's sweating in it, and that's okay because this pie is going to taste delicious at the end of it. So, but I remember staying over at his house one night, and everyone's asleep, and so I got this craving for that little pie. So what I did is I got up, I snuck, I was starting to sneak downstairs, and they had an old wooden staircase at the time. And if you don't know about old wooden staircases, is you don't want to walk in the middle of those things. You don't want to, because they'll spell out the damn, you'll take one step and you'll hear ah, and then you take another step and you'll hear ooh, and then you hear another step and oh. So that's in the middle of the case. So what you want to do, while you're sneaking downstairs, if you're ever trying to do one of these little numbers or whatever, is you don't want to walk in the middle. So you want to press your body up against the drywall or a wall or any just pick a wall. You want to push yourself up on that, right? And then you want to walk quietly sideways down that thing, like you're just sneaking behind. Like you're sneaking into the movies or something like that. You don't want anyone to see you. So you're this, you're like a detective that's breaking and entering or something like that. What, I don't know. But so and the way I found that trick out is, when I was 13, my buddy Matt and I, we'd sneak downstairs. And we have to, bypass his parents' room and everything. And so we do that little number. And the reason we were going down there is because we were going to watch some of that adult porn. And so, and at that time, when you're growing up, they'd have these big cable boxes. That sat right on front, right on your TV and everything. And of course, you turn the TV on and you'd forget, you forget about how the volume was just cranked up because of what was on last. So, you're trying everything, you're hitting one, you're hitting menu, you're hitting everything except the freaking volume button or the mute button. At one point in time, you're just throwing the remote. And you're just trying to find the power button on the TV and everything. And then, of course, once you get it settled, you gotta wait and you gotta listen. You gotta make sure that no one's coming downstairs. But, you're doing all this, command and conquer or, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. You're going through drills just to check out, some breasts, And back then, whew, man, just to see a breast on TV, you're like, where and how did I make it here? And how did heaven just come about? Right? How is heaven on the TV right now? So, anyways, what was that? Oh yeah. So I snuck downstairs, right? To get to get a slice of this delicious custard. You know what I'm talking about. And so I make my way into the kitchen. I saw that beautiful apple filled pie down there, and it's covered in saran wrap, right? So and I could just feel my mouth just dripping. I mean, it's like, I see it, and it's dripping like a broken kitchen faucet almost, right? And I'll tell you one thing. Not only was I excited, but I was so nervous. You ever been so nervous that you think you're gonna pee on yourself? You know? And you just don't, like, you didn't, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, you're like, oh, God, no, oh, but then, you try to keep it together, and so that's what I did. I kept it together. And now one problem that I knew that I was going to run into was, their silverware drawer. Whenever you pulled that thing out, that thing would squeak like a old hamster on a damn one of his wheels, just that sort of thing. It would make all sorts of noise. And because that thing would, get stuck. You'd have to hit it a couple times and, try to maneuver, around, you're just trying to do it. You're trying to get it all unstuck, but it sounded like, the Civil War was happening in the drawer. Like between the knives and the forks, and I don't know which one's the North or the South or whatever it was. Who knows? So instead of going for that drawer, I decided that I was going to go for this ladle that was hanging up next to the rest of the instruments, these kitchen instruments. And so I took this plastic ladle and I decided that I'm going to have a large ration of this beautiful pie. And so what I did was I was thinking that I can't just eat it there. I gotta find some other place to go to it, to go to and everything. So I snuck off into the bathroom and I left the lights off and I'm just enjoying this thing while I'm just sitting on the toilet. That's all I'm doing. Just putting this sugary dessert right in my freaking mouth. And my taste buds are all wrapped around each other. And they're just, the deliciousness of all of it, right? So after finishing up that, I was about to say, well, you know what? Okay, I'm going to put the ladle in the sink and then I'm not going to worry about it. And then I looked at that apple pie again, and it was calling me. It was saying, get over here and have another little slice out of me. So that's what I did. I took one more potentially large scoop out of that thing. And by the end, next thing you know, there's about 40% of this pie missing. It's gone. And now, I wrap up the pie, and I did the whole thing again. I went to the bathroom, ate it again, came back out. Again, the reason I went to the bathroom was in case someone came downstairs, they'd see the light on, and they knock on the door, and they think that I was just, doing a little number one, and or maybe a little numero dos or whatever. So, but that was my plan. So I really didn't think out things, but in a way I did, right? So the ladle, I wrapped the pie back up, and I'm like, what do I do with the ladle? I can't leave any trace that I was down here, even though they're gonna blatantly see the damn pie and see that someone's been eating on this fucking thing, right? So I decided to discard the evidence. So what I do is I slowly open up their sliding glass door, right? And I toss that bitch out into the freaking the yard, or wherever it landed. I don't know where it went. It was dark. Still don't know where it is to this day. I mean, his dad might have been mowing the lawn or something, ran into that thing, and he's like, what is this doing out? Whatever. So the next day, I snuck back up into my buddy's room, went to sleep, feeling warm, feeling good, and feeling full of sugar. So the next thing you know, the next day, my buddy's parents are getting up, and they're yelling, and they're wondering what did this and who did that, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, dude, something's gonna happen now. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I don't want to be around here when it does. So I packed up my gear, went back home, and the next thing you know, man, his dad thought that we both went down there and ate it, and his dad whipped his ass, and after that, I knew that I probably shouldn't go back over there for a little while. So, so I just kind of stuck to my own guns. Hey, I'm not saying that I'm not an angel by any means. I mean, and I know that, and I apologize to my man if he's listening to this. I apologize to you, and I hope your parents are doing all right, I guess. So. But man, that's what happens, man. Every time September rolls around and harvest season just comes strolling through, all nonchalant, that sort of thing. I think about that apple custard, and then I think back to that moment when I was doing that sort of thing. So, but anyways, good to be here with you guys. I am, shit, man. I'm trying to get a producer in here more than anything, and I don't know. I lost this very, 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 very knowledgeable and genuine male, I guess you want to call him. But he was doing all the boards and all that stuff, and now he blanked on me. So I'm trying to get guests in here and that sort of thing, but I can't do everything by myself, and I'm trying to make this better, and some episodes are not that way, but it's just what it is and how it goes and that sort of thing. But I'm trying. We are, you, I, everyone, on this thing, trying to make it build and make it better and that sort of deal. But I know I can't do this on my own. So what I'm thinking about doing is, because I would like to have guests in here. I could try to do it, but it's so much easier to have somebody else behind the boards to it's just so hard to do things like this by yourself. That's all. But we're going to still try. We're still going to put out episodes, and I'm going to look for a producer, man, because we need that in here. That's only going to make this better. So, but happy Labor Day to everybody, by the way. Happy, to everyone out there, happy Labor Day. And man, when I was growing up, I always thought Labor Day was just something. I knew it was a holiday, but I didn't know exactly what it was. I knew you couldn't wear white, and I thought it was, and this, call me a little bit slow or whatever. But I thought that Labor Day was when, it speaks for itself. I thought that's when most women went into labor. That's what I thought. Or I thought that it dealt with, the reason that they said that you shouldn't wear white and everything is because I thought it dealt with women's menstrual cycles. And of course I was dead wrong, so, that's just what it is. And that's what I thought. But anyways, happy Labor Day to everybody. And, what I wanted to do is, tell you about a couple jobs that I had, since it is Labor Day, and one of the jobs that I want to tell you about is it was one of my first jobs, and it was at a place called Tijuana Junction. And this place was a Tex-Mex restaurant, and it wasn't anywhere near Tijuana. And that's just what the place is called. And my job was a food runner. And if you don't know what a food runner is essentially they stick, they pass the food through the window, and you're supposed to stick certain elements onto their entrees or whatever. And after you set it all up, you got to take the food and run it out to the tables. And so, during that whole process, fajitas would roll out and everything. And then, every so often you stick you dive into a little fajita, catch yourself a little pollo, a little carne, pop that in your mouth. You just wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to kill someone out there. So you had to taste it first. And so I went from, running food to waiting tables, and did that for a couple years and that sort of thing. And then I moved up to head server, and by that time, man, boy, by that time we were stealing margaritas out of the margarita machine and taking them back into the laundry room and freaking just knocking those back, and and after 3 or 4 of those, you'd come back to your tables thinking that you were able to speak Spanish, even though you didn't know how to. But that, and that's what essentially, I essentially lost that job because they closed down. Probably wasn't from us stealing the margaritas or anything of that nature, but it just what it was. So that was one job. Another job that I took on at one point in time was I worked at this barbecue spot, and my job back there was to make all of the sides and sauces, and every once in a while, rub on that hog, boy, rub it on. But I take that that hog, and then I put the dry rub on the hog, rub it down. And I don't know if you have ever cooked with if you don't know, if you don't know or haven't looked it up or anything like that, but a dry rub is, something that you put on a certain meat and it just gives it flavor. So, but the owner over there was a real piece of, I'll put it politely, I guess. He was a real piece of work. He'd come in, bark orders here and there every so often, and then the next thing you know, he gets shit faced, and then go cheat on his wife with one of the girls that used to work there, and they try to keep it, nonchalant and silent and everything, and that sort of deal. They try to keep it away from all of us, but how can you keep it away when the next thing, when he's going by and slipping his finger up, up her ass crack, or going over there and giving her a little tappy tap, spanky spank while she's at the register. It was so blatantly, we all knew what was happening. But they go sneak off and then get into his car. Maybe take a set of ribs with them and maybe some potato salad or something like that. And they'd or maybe they're making potato salad. Maybe they're making, that human coleslaw. Maybe they're doing that. Maybe they're making some of that in that element that he used to have. So, but he was a real piece of shit. Let's just say that. So, but yeah, there've been other jobs that I've had. Mostly mainly working in the food industry. And, I sold vacation packages for a little bit, and that didn't really, that was just, I don't know. It's just not for me, man. I'm not a salesperson. I'll never be a salesperson. I just know this. So, but happy Labor Day to every one of you guys out there. And today I'm just celebrating that I no longer have those jobs anymore. Let's just put it that way, because that's not where I belong. That's not what I wanted to do. And but I do I did appreciate it at the time, because it got me through school. So and I hope all of you guys out there in the food industry, I either hopefully you like it that much where you would just want to stay in it, or two, it just gets you to a better place in your life. So so who's ever out there, man, food industries, damn, that's so hard, man. Whoever wants to try to open up a restaurant, you got to be out of your mind to want to do that, because that's just a tough task. So, but, man, what else has been going on? The NFL, football. Football starts this week, man. And God, I can't wait for it. For some, I'm just excited. I'm excited to get back into seeing who's going to do what, and how many special plays that are going to be had and making, and all these changes that are around, the NFL. I hope the Jets, man, I'm going to say this. I wish, and I know that I'm going to have so many people beating down on my door for me saying this, other than Jets fans, but I hope the Jets do well. How about that? Of course, I'm a Green Bay fan, and they have our Green Bay's old quarterback, and so we'll just see how that turns out over there. I think the Chiefs are going to be a runaway contender again, like always, which is unfortunate, but what can you do about it? It is what it is, but time will tell. Who knows? It's just the beginning of the season. Haven't really watched much of the preseason, just because the preseason games don't really, man, they don't tell you a lot. They don't tell you, they don't tell you anything really. Other than this guy's playing for this team, in my opinion. So, and injuries happen, and it sucks that injuries do happen at the beginning of preseason, because, man, when you get injured in the preseason, and then you got to go out there and try to do it in the season, you try to cut, if you miss 6 weeks, damn, there goes almost half the season that you missed. And now you're trying to make up for it. It's just tough to come back from stuff like that. So, but I hope this season in the NFL, I hope it's exciting, baby. I do. Can't wait. So, what else is going on today? Oh, I guess we can jump in to a little bit of the news, I guess. We can jump into that. Damn, man, Jimmy Buffett took his last breath a couple days ago, and man, he died at 76. Some people think that that's young. Some people think that that's, but he died from skin cancer, and it's probably from that August heat. That August, that Grim Reaper heat just came in, wiped himself down all over Jimmy Buffett's body, and the next thing you know, that soft rock that he used to play and everything, that just turned into that just made him into a Caribbean, a Caribbean flavor, I guess, I don't know if it's a pineapple flavor. I mean, of course, it's a margarita flavor. Shit, he was the one that told me how to steal the margaritas out of that machine at TJ at Tijuana Junction. So, but yeah, he was diagnosed with some type of skin cancer, and he'd had it for a while. And damn, man, it just sucks that you think that people at that age, because we started out on an age, that you would only make it to like 12 or 14 or 21, and now we have all this technology and all of this, just science backing us for our lifetime, our lifespans, that sort of thing. And we just we keep increasingly, we're getting older, but, we still can't, older in age, but fighting off certain diseases like cancer is, we haven't made it that far yet, but he died at a he was surrounded by family and friends and that sort of thing. And I think, if I were to go like that, I hope I am surrounded by the same quality of individuals. So, but R.I.P. man, Jimmy Buffett, so, we'll see where the Lord takes him, man. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Oh, Burning Man. Someone died, and I'm not trying to, and I hate to, bring up death as where, but damn, old Roberto, he passed out in the damn driveway, and, that nudie mag is just flapping in the wind now, but that skeleton's got that smile on it. So, but yeah, another person, one person out of everyone, out of 70,000 people, one person dies. I mean, dude, what's one person? And how did he die? He died in mud, I think. I mean, they're still investigating it, but that's what they're saying. They're saying heavy rains and everything made the desert flood. And now this man couldn't escape from mud? Mud that's like literally like knee deep? You can't escape from mud? I don't know, man. I think something stronger is going to have to take me out if you're trying to, something, maybe like, a flash of lightning or someone poison that apple pie or something like that. Or, maybe, shoot, man. I mean, I don't know. I can't think. I'm just overwhelmed over what? Mud? I mean, like somebody would have to like sit on my face, in it to where like you would have to hold me down for 2 minutes or so just so I would stop breathing. This guy's dying in mud. Like, what'd they do? Pour mud into his sleeping bag or something like that and zip it up? I mean, what? I don't get it. But that's what it said. They're still investigating, and people are still stuck out there. No offense, but this whole concert thing, this whole man, they gotta rebrand this damn deal, man. I mean, Burning Man is turning into it's just turning into, I think this party's about done with. I think this party is over. I think it needs to, and of course a lot of people are not going to see it eye to eye, the way I do, but like, come on, man, let's just end this freaking thing. I mean, look how Woodstock turned out, and now we got this going on. I mean, and what's the point of it? Like, I don't know enough about it to really like get into it, and I'm probably stepping over the lines of saying things about it, but I mean, but this movement, whatever this movement is, I think it's time to call a spade a spade. You know what I'm talking about? Just call it, baby. Just do it. Just be done. Be done. You know? And why are you going into a damn I mean, you're trying to, and I get it. There's tons of drugs out there and everything, and I guess doing the drugs underneath that hot heat, that, the damn, Earth's flashlight, that sun or whatever, trying to do all that. Who would want to do that? Like, I know, hey, don't get me wrong. I like the sunshine and everything, but I also, don't like the sunshine in the desert for 4 days straight with nothing but the shirt on my back and the AIDS in my body, I guess. I don't know. It's just, it's beyond me. But, dude, dying from, maybe, and of course, we don't know. The man might have had a heat stroke or something like that. But to this point, the thing that I'm concluding, and I will say, I don't know what I'm talking about. All right. So don't quote me on this, but mud's killing people. Still mud. It's not an Amazon flood. It's not a Hawaii fire, and God bless them. It is. Essentially, the flood's gonna run into the desert and dry up, but you're gonna get. I just don't. Okay. I don't know. Don't know. Anyways. All right. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go do a couple other things and that sort of deal. Get my Monday going. I just want to say hello to everybody out there. I hope your week I hope it goes well, man. I hope the start of this September and this Labor Day just treats everyone, like a soft blessing, So, but yeah, man, that's what I got this week. And next week, I'm gonna try to get someone in here. I keep on saying it, and I know that you guys are like, God, okay, all right. And I know I'm just yammering on right now, but I really want to make this work. So, but yeah, everyone out there, stay safe. Love you guys. Hit the subscribe button if you made it all the way through. And damn, man, pray for those guys out in that desert heat, man. And hopefully they do all right for themselves. So, all right, everyone, I will get at you next week, and just want to say, stay true to yourselves, and, let this week carry on, and let it be good to you. So, all right, everybody, take care of yourselves. Love you guys. Stay safe out there, all right? See you.